What's going on, guys? It's Eric here, Traveling Trading. Wanted to do a quick little recap video here that was asked to do about some of the trades that were taken yesterday from the alerts. So I'll touch over a few of them here with you guys and just kind of give you some insight on how to kind of play these. But, pretty much it's self-explanatory, especially if taking the course, you should kind of know how to do this day in and day out. Um, but it's pretty simple there. So we'll touch on probably about 3 or 4 stocks because, of course, it is pre-market right now. Want to kind of keep an eye on everything that's going on. Um, but I also wanted to get this video out here to you guys real quick here. So let's kind of touch on, some of the alerts from yesterday. But basically, kind of go in a little bit of order, actually, kind of follow along with the alerts. So one of the first ones, of course, was BTNR. Um, Now, with this stock here, guys, remember this one was coming off of last week. From breaking out last week. We made some pretty good gains on that bad boy, and of course that momentum carried over into pre-market, which typically happens with stocks. Okay, that's why a lot of times you'll see stocks that made major moves throughout the day on the watch list for the next day because they're going to probably be continuation of what happened the previous day. Um, and there's definitely a lot of different strategies around that on how to play that I also go over in the course too. Um, Especially for a lot of beginners. That strategy works out really, really well that I cover as far as like those, when stocks break out like that. But anyways, VTNR carried over into pre-market. Had an initial pop up. We didn't, it did pretty much nothing throughout the day. Just kind of traded sideways and started to dwindle off. So this would be a good back play strategy for anybody who's short. Um, a lot of you guys who are new might have like, a cash account, probably not trading on margin or had 25 grand in your account. Sign up for Moomoo. That's a good, broker to start out with if you're looking, to be on the bearish side. They only do margin accounts. They don't allow you to do cash accounts. So, that's a good opportunity to be able to short there if you wanted to be a short trader. But again, it's up to you. But yeah, BTNR didn't really have much of a move. That's why it probably was only alerted once of the initial breakup right here, spike up, and that's pretty much what it did throughout the day. You had a little bit of opportunity to play it through here between the $8 and $10 level, which is a good $2 move. But you know, other than that, not really much of anything going on with it. Um, Formed a little cup and handle right here, but not much of a breakout. Kind of a false breakout actually, because from this point on, it just kind of dwindled down. This is a key example of a false breakout for you guys who need to know what that is. If you don't know what that is, again, take the course, read the books. Those are things you want to look out for as false breakouts. And you can easily do that by, different tactics of being able to see that beforehand. But that was VTNR. Let's look at some other alerts that we had. Of course, AMC. AMC was kind of like the all day play. The thing with AMC, it might not have had much range today, guys, but you had very, you know, very much a lot of different opportunities to be able to capitalize on this because it was a lot of volume. I mean, a lot of volume, a lot of volume, guys. It was insane how much volume was traded with this thing. And as you can see, right, even right now into pre-market is still, going up there. So of course we're looking at this one today too as well. But yesterday, alerts went off on it throughout the day. You first kind of noted that it was expensive, from the beginning, but you definitely had a lot of major run-ups on there. I played this one was done before pre-market. I was actually trading it in pre-market and was done before the day even began. But the rest of the day, it was definitely making some moves. It's a little tricky around here from the opening, and this is usually when stocks are the most active. Um, throughout the day, the very beginning, and then usually after lunch, starts to go crazy. This long drop right here, guys, came out from that news with one of the firms selling all their positions. But even then, somebody had asked me, okay, with the firm doing that, selling their position, do you think is still, do you think now it's time to sell? Well, if you look after what happened here, after the firm sold, take a look at the overall chart. This is why you want to trade on different time frames, guys. Whatever. Let's say if you're trading on a 3-minute time frame, you want to, go up one more position from that, like on a 15-minute or, you know, 30-minute, however you want to do. But after the firm sold off their shares took their little 40 million in profit or whatever they took, the stock still held up very, very well above the VWAP. So bulls were still in control. So it's not necessarily the question was asked, should I sell it or, should I start shorting it? Why would you want to short when the bulls are still winning? There was no confirmation here to even begin to look at shorting the stock, which is a good thing you didn't because you would have been you would have got ate up if you did. But yeah, right here is where that news came out, and I took my profits out before then. I even posted in the Facebook group. I said, yeah, things like that is the reason why I take my profits when I take my profits because of things like that. Doesn't mean necessarily that it was a bad move or anything like that. Just these things are unpredictable. Um, you know, but at the same time too, the chart and price action tells you what to do. If you don't know how to read this stuff, again, I encourage you to go, do the research. There's a lot of free material out there. I put, in the Facebook group, in the learning lounge for you guys, in the channels, the Telegram channels. There's also the course. I mean, there's ample things there. And the more you guys, study this stuff, it's just like a test. The more you study this stuff, the more you're going to know. But yeah, there was no reason to either sell or go short at this point because the chart was telling you that it was still bullish. Look at this. This higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. I cover this all the time with you guys. You know, there was no reason for this thing to be taking the bearish position all the way to the end of the day. But you had an opportunity to get in and get out and, just small moves here and there to make some money. I mean, of course, if you had those diamond hands, you probably did a pretty good profit. But that was AMC. Let's take it another, some other alerts because even though AMC was the big main thing that everyone was looking at, it wasn't the only thing that was running. Let's take a look at PRTK. How did that one do? I know it had an initial spike, but didn't really run much on the news that it had, um, when it was mentioned. But, you know, not all of them play out the way that they should. Had an initial spike from 921. That was pretty much that right there. Didn't really do much of anything. So let's take a look at another one. OEG. That one definitely ran good. I believe I got a little bit on that. I think I got in that one a little too late. So guys, if you notice a little difference between the two charts too, is the amount of price action there. I like to see my candles full, which means a lot of hands are trading. Just a little tidbit if you didn't know that, but I'll post this in the course documents too for you guys to kind of look at. But OEG got the initial volume spike at 441, which of course was pretty much around this area where you guys got alerted. Hey, look at this stock. This is a pre-market. This thing ran all day. Yeah, it's kind of no excuse here at this point. Ran all day, even held its gains. Only time you probably would have got faked out was right here and right here. But even then, like I tell you guys in the course of where to set your stop loss, if you follow those rules, you would have been easily profiting. And this thing ran all the way to the end of the day. Tested highs several times. It kept pushing. So, it was definitely some tug of war going on there with the bulls and the bears. But if you kind of looked at, you know, the chart, it was not only was it holding its gains and forming, cup and handles and things like that. It wasn't really no stair step clear indicator that it was gonna, break out. At this point, as it's, you can tell with the cup handles getting smaller and smaller and it's consolidating, it's either going to break up or break down. There's no option for it to do one or the other. And usually right here in power hour, the last hour of the day, guys, that's usually where, stocks make their moves. You can kind of, after it broke that high, you should know at that point, hey, I should probably get in. And, you could at least got a little bit of a gain there, at least a dollar move gain there, which is pretty obvious. On that one. So, you can kind of go back and look at this one. This will be a good learning tool for you guys to kind of see how this played out. And yeah, of course, hindsight is 2020, right? So try to take a look at it in real time. That's why I like TradingView and kind of doing this here with you guys because if you look at the charts in real time and how they're playing out, you can, get a sense of how to practice and test your strategies and see how things would play out if you effectively executed your rules to how you trade and be able to gauge your wins and loss rates based on your strategy, and tweak it to how you need to, or stick with it until you find your niche. But you know, this is a pretty good tool, and of course, Thinkorswim has this as well too if you have that platform. But yeah, if you look at it in real time, boom, that breakout right there, you should know, hey, I should probably get in at this point. Everything is telling you to do so. And you can see here it was alerted a couple of times, especially during those breakout times. Here it's $6, 5.53. Like, it's telling you, if you haven't looked at it already, keep looking at it again. That's how these alerts should be played, guys. You gotta have some kind of basis understanding of how charts are, how they look. You gotta know something about your indicators. You don't want to just blindly follow alerts. You want to be able to know the foundation of trading and what to do. And I teach you all that in that little course I developed. And you also have all the resources and tools in the books. If the books aren't making sense to you, if you're not a book person, if you don't like reading, of course, there's tons of YouTube videos out there, but there's a lot of noise out there. So I'm trying to cut all that down. And that's why that course is there for you guys. So you don't have to go through all that nonsense. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was pretty self-explanatory with OEG. Let's take a look at another one. One more. Let's take a look at WPG. I think did really good as well too. Other these other ones were just kind of like high days and spikes. Let's take a look here. So like IAH was, just a little initial spike. I think EXPR did okay. Of course, they, are going with those meme stocks. EXPR is one of them as well too. They run with AMC and BlackBerry and cost, but you know, very choppy. Obviously, you don't want to get out in that one. But with stocks like WPG, when they have a volume spike like here, this one broke out at 330. And you were told to look at that one, WPG. So at 330, which is probably around this area, which is probably where you were alerted with the initial spike. So at this point, let's say put it up, goes off here. Let's take a look and do a replay. Boom. All right, so you're alerted. Hey, look at this stock, WPG. It's going up. Now, you guys know that I cover all the time with you the strategy I use for entering and exit, you know, especially entering, because that's where a lot of people have troubles knowing when to get into a stock and when to get out of it. I never jump in on the first initial alert. But anyways, it went off WPG, then it went all the way up to 59. You were alerted again. It started to come down. At that point, if you're looking at it, say, hey, it's holding its gains. I might want to look into getting into it here. You know, obviously, based on how you trade, you want to do that. But yeah, WPG, pretty simple, self-explanatory. Um, so after here, the moving average, convergence, divergence changed twice. Then I'm gonna get interested in it. It didn't break yet. I wouldn't get interested into it yet. And again, you don't have to just buy breakouts, guys. Some people do, some people don't. I know plenty of traders who don't. Every person trades differently. But let's speed this bad boy up. It was tested the highs, didn't break, tested highs, didn't break, kept going, still holding. That's what's interesting is that it's still not falling. Boom, right there, broke out. I would hold that bad boy until you know your exit strategy is completed, which is up to you and based on your risk level and tolerance. But this thing just ran and ran. It's for me personally. Sometimes I just get tired of holding the stock and I just let it go. So probably maybe around there I would have if I decided to hold that long, I probably would have taken and ran with my money. But nah, I probably wouldn't have waited that long. But anyways, probably would have got out around this candle here. Um, if I would have traded it, but I didn't trade it. But again, it's all up to you. That's just a few alerts, guys. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 other ones, but wasn't really too much. But again, these things are pretty self-explanatory. Um, you just got to put in the work and learning and doing your own and setting up your own thing. That's just the thing about it. That's where most, not most, I would say that's where a lot of traders fail. Is putting in the work and doing that stuff, guys, because this does take a little bit of time to learn. But you got practice. It makes it much easier if you have someone that's helping you and pointing out things as well too, which is why I'm here for you guys. But also you're gonna have to do the work, and you know that's just the nature of the beast. Once you put in the work, everything becomes easier. So hopefully this video helps out in explaining that. As far as like the indicators and things like that, again, if you guys have any questions about that, take a look at the courses. I mean, or just look them up yourself. I mean, moving average convergence, divergence, relative strength index, a lot of different videos out there about those things. As far as how to use them, I haven't seen any that are really great, but kind of put it all together. But my course does, because a lot of places don't really. Well, I haven't really seen any that do that, but hopefully that helps you guys out with that. But anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to recap that video for you on the trades that we took today. So I've seen a lot of you guys profit, which is really really good. Let's keep it going. Hopefully we have another green day today, and make some more money. Okay. So until then, guys, I will talk to you later and stay green.